an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling mind, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling mind, the golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
What's going on, y'all? We back.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
Yes, that is us. My name is Matt. D Rose is right over there on that side of your screen. We hope you all are having a very happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us right here today on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. Yeah, happy Wednesday, everyone. Once again, hope you all are having a fantastic week and you had a good weekend this past week. On today's show, we have got a UFC 326 recap. One of us, and it ain't me, has to complete the Wheel of Doom. And not only that, we got to add something a little sweet this week. We have some UFC news and fight announcements to go over, and quite a bit. UFC White House card got announced, and we'll end out the show with our UFC 114, Josh Emmett, or UFC Vegas 114, Josh Emmett versus Kevin Vallejos. Our preview, our picks, our predictions, and of course, we gotta do the pick champ. We forgot it last week. We had to cover it on Change the Chatter Friday. What's up, everybody in the chat? I'll get there to y'all in just one moment, but we have something to address. D Rose, how you doing this week, man?
Not good, man. Not good. You know, I'm normally peppy and happy and cheerful and everything, but you know, it was short-lived. The long victory.
When it happens, it happens. You get me, and then I seem to always get you like right back, dude.
Yeah. The win was short-lived. Let's get this crap over with.
Your boy is and new this week. Get that big champ out of here. D Rose about to grow some hair. Let's watch it and see what happens.
Get this bull crap out of the way. I don't even know what the hell this is.
Is it a box? Oh, box inside. Man, that shit's huge.
What the hell is this?
I almost got you Marge Simpson hair, just so you know.
It's got a hairnet? What am I? A lunch lady? Like I'm not
I
putting.
told you, dude. It was solid quality.
This crap.
I told you it was solid quality because you have a giant noggin, so like it came with accessories and all that.
What is this? Oh. What the hell is this? What? Oh my! Carrot Top? I look like a sweet potato. Like, what is this? Oh my gosh! I can't even
Big
keep this thing on
champ
my eyes,
this
dude.
week, baby. Clean sweep. D Rose, what's it like having hair again, dog?
Well, I'm glad I jumped to the other side and I'm bald now because this is not I'll admit not the most comfortable, but we're gonna have to thug it out here for the next probably an hour and a half at least.
Yeah. In theory, this is a what's the thing called? What's this guy called? The Mad Hatter? Mad Hatter costume?
I don't even know if I'm wearing this right.
That's the hair from the Mad Hatter costume right there. That's in theory what it should look like, but shout out Amazon, you know.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is what this is at this point. I mean, it looks like a Karen haircut. Like I'm
it's all off to the side.
Right. Yeah, I'm dying.
You can see the part in it. You can see the part in it. It's like off to the side. You're
I don't know how to. I gotta fix this. Okay.
Oh my.
Better. It keeps getting in my eyes. That's why. Can't do this. See, at least mine wasn't in your way.
Well, if you wore it correctly, it wouldn't be. But hey, that's neither here nor there. Congratulations on me clean sweeping you this week. What's going on, Austin?
There we go.
Do it, brother.
There we go. I got it.
Now you just look like Rihanna.
You can stand under my umbrella, Ella.
Dave letting us know that anal bifida is the worst of all bifidas. Indeed. Why do you look like the police?
We definitely look like Men in Black there at the beginning. Definitely had Men in Black look there.
You like RoboCop. RoboCop's teeth looking
RoboCop?
extra. Nah, that's shit. James Holmes.
Yeah, see, I took care of Tom. That's the first thing I thought of. That's what I was like, dude, I look like a sweet potato. Like this is crazy.
Oh man, how funny is that? I think that is hilarious. D-Rose looking good over there. Anyway, let's get into the show, man. All right, we got our UFC 326 recap from this past weekend. Let me just click early prelims real quick. Let's see what happened. Luke Fernandez got smoked by Rodolfo Bellato in round number 1. That's what we get for picking UFC newcomers against UFC veterans at this point, no matter how washed they seem. Rafael Tobias got beat by Dyer Nergazay via decision, dude, and that was just sad to see. Like, the game plan was out there, go execute. In the last 10 seconds of the fight, he was trying to execute, but a little bit too late. You lost the fight there, buddy. Sumandarji beat Jesus Aguilar, spoiled mine and your dog of the week in the chef Jesus Aguilar. Sumandarji wins via decision. On the regular prelims, we had Cody Durden lose to Namjargel Tumandumbarel via decision. I believe that is what I actually picked to happen. No, I ended up changing it. But that is what I originally picked. But then I said, no, he's probably going to finish Cody. But Namjargel does win via decision. We had Alberto Montes submit Ricky Tercios. I believe it was some sort of, anaconda or something like that. 40 seconds into round number 2. Dante Johnson and Cody Brundage, they I guess made a handshake that they were going to go to decision. Yeah, dude. After watching that, I'm not sure how good Dante Johnson is, dude. It's like, you couldn't get Cody Brundage out of there, dog. Like what are we doing here? Either Cody Brundage is getting better, which I find that very hard to believe at 11-9. Or it's just like something's happening behind the scenes. You're like, hey, you want to get some experience, so let's just take it easy this fight.
Yeah. Well, you just mentioned it too. The newcomers coming in against veterans, and even though Dante Johnson did win, he did look rough in the in the process, and I think a little bit of learning curves, but just to mention that, sometimes the newcomers come in and sometimes they're biting off a little more than they can chew. It wasn't the case in that fight, but it does happen.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, let's not throw up in the floor, man. Can we not do that? You have water there. If you're thirsty, drink some water. Jesus, this dog, dog. Anyway, Cody Garbrandt, Long Zhao, dude, that fight, in my opinion, Long Zhao won every single round, kicked Cody Garbrandt in the nuts in the third, and grazed him in the nuts again in the third round. Ended up getting 2 points deducted and loses the fight like 29 to 20, I don't know, 28-27 or some shit like that. And that tells me that 2 judges at least gave Cody Garbrandt one of the rounds. And dude, going back watching the fight, I went back and watched it. I don't know if there's a moment that Cody Garbrandt won that fight, dog. It's like I don't know, dude. I feel like the fix might have been in there, but I mean, losing 2 points, that's your own damn fault, dog. Lost me, and I'm sure a whole bunch of everyone else bets as well, but I also had Long Zhao by knockout bet as well. In the main card, we had Hobo Cop versus Bruno Ferreira. The exact opposite happened this past weekend of what happened 3 years ago, basically. Just 3 years ago, Bruno Hulk one-punched Hobo Cop, and this past weekend, Hobo Cop one-punched Bruno Hulk. Not really much more to say outside of that. Drew Dober, Michael Johnson. Drew Dober punched a dent in Michael Johnson's head. That's what John Anik said. But aside from that, like in the classic Michael Johnson fight, that fight went exactly how I said it was going to go. I said, Michael Johnson's going to be winning every moment of the fight. And when round 2 starts, there's going to be one moment when Michael Johnson starts to back up and Drew Dober advances and throws a hook. And by damn, that's exactly what happened in round number 2. My Tapology pick, Drew Dober round 2 knockout, was correct. Did you see the news that came out? The tweet that came out, before that fight that said, Gangster Disciples had Michael Johnson's nephew held hostage, so they needed him to fucking lose by the second round knockout, and that's actually when Michael Johnson lost. It's you can't make this shit up anymore, dog.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's had a little bit of the strange betting movement because on, what was it, Friday, or it might have been day of, the fight had a lot of strange line movement, and I even
I messaged you.
I was like, let's see if the fight continues, because his last fight with Hernandez, remember, they pulled it because they had the strange line movement. So I'm surprised they didn't do it in this case, but they went ahead and threw with it. And man, Michael Johnson freaking lost me the pig jam, dude. As you said, classic Michael Johnson, winning the fight, looking good. The speed advantage was on his side completely. And of course, just, classic Michael Johnson getting clipped and getting one punched.
Yeah. Co-main event was Caio Borralho or RDR, dude. I like to call myself a hardcore, at least a hardcore UFC fan, dude. There hasn't been a fight over the past 5 years that I can tell you that I'm I actually missed that fight. I didn't fucking watch it. So I watched damn near every single fight. And it's me watching the fights and knowing how RDR fights at this point, I thought it was a close fight. But being a judge, dude, just watching fights all night and then watching RDR fight, it's dude, you can't – I don't know how you can say that he won any part of anything ever, because he just looks so sloppy and goofy. He's falling down. Are you going for a takedown, or did you just get knocked down? It's it's hard to – really understand what's going on in an RDR fight just because he's so chaotic and goofy. That being said, I thought it was a close fight, but I guess the judges didn't think so. They had it, I believe, 30-27, Caio Borralho.
I thought one of the judges had it 29-28. So
Okay,
I mean,
well,
but
that's
and
fair.
honestly, I thought RDR won the second round. I did think that he had a little bit of cage control, but I will say, just to point out as well, I mean, Kaya Bahia was not getting punished for some of those fence grabs that he was getting away with, dude. Like he was
Dude, the way he started the fight out, I was like, "Oh, he's gonna knock RDR out, dog." Like he was just going out there looking like a young Lyoto Machida, just hands
yeah.
down. And I was like, "Oh shit, this ain't good."
Yeah, no, he did come out aggressive because that was actually the first point that I made was like, man, he looks a lot more aggressive than I see him in a lot of his fights. But dude, in that first round, dude, there were times where RDR could have had a takedown, and Kyle Bahia had some pretty clear fence grabs that were getting missed, and I did think he, for the most part, did a good job defending, even when he did get taken down. But there were moments there where I was thinking that I was like, man, I'm surprised that some of the fence grabs. I believe it was Herzog in the fight. He had missed some of those, and in the second round, DeRitter was able to get a few more takedowns. But in that third, it just looked like he had just kind of started gassing out again, and he ended up lasting the 3 rounds, unlike the last fight. But I just think he said he's gonna move up to 205. I think it's a good move just because I think there's more lack of talent up at 205, and he could take advantage and maybe not get as drained with the weight cut because he is a big dude.
Yeah, man. Which leads us to the main event, dude. This was, let me be honest, dude. This shit was boring as hell. It's the BMF title. You want dudes to go in there and what I like to say, pull their dicks out and swing them at each other, man. Like it's the BMF title. I don't want to see what we saw this past weekend, but at the same time, dude, it's just like any other fight to Charles, man. He was out there just fucking trying to win, and that he did, dude. He went out there and fucking looked like Habib, looked like Hamza against Max Holloway, dude. Just Max had no chance of stopping any takedown. Like every single time, Charles just went out there, picked Max up, threw him down, and was like on top or on his back for the rest of the round, man. It sucks that that's how the BMF title happened. What does BMF stand for? In the famous words of Nate Diaz, the boring motherfuckers, apparently. That was honestly terrible. I don't think Max wanted to shit on him too bad there in the cage because he just fucking lost. But like you could see it like on his fucking face. He's like, man, that's what you're gonna do? Like, bro, this is for the BMF title. That's what you're gonna do. So you could tell that he was like, man, what the hell? But to give Charles credit, there in the last few 10 seconds, it fucking looked like fucking Charles kind of fucking stunned Max too. I was like, fucking Charles might have the power on the feet too. Who the fuck knows? But I'm not mad either way, just because I do love me some Charles Oliveira. But I'm also wouldn't have been mad if I think fucking Dana White was like, okay, congratulations on fucking winning the fight. This belt's done. Like we ain't doing this shit no more, dog. Yeah, man. Thoughts on the quote unquote BMF this past weekend, dude?
Yeah, and if I'm being honest, I think that will probably likely be the outcome is that we don't see the BMF again because, and going into the fight, obviously, two guys who have fought each other before, but their fight never really played out. And of course, both of them were different at that point when they first fought. But for, the advancements that they've made in their game up to now, we've seen the evolution of Charles as a striker. So we're kind of thinking like, hey, Charles is going to go in here and hey, he could bang too because he's got some power. And a lot of people talk about that sequence there when Charles was fighting Topuria, when Charles had landed kind of that step in elbow on Topuria, and anybody else that could have probably put him out, but Topuria's got a good chin. But we're anticipating striking. It's the BMF. It kind of is the antithesis of the whole belt. The whole idea of it is to go out there and scrap. And you're going out there, and I mean, Max did a good job defending. And had Charles gotten a sub maybe earlier in the fight, maybe we just say, that wow, look what he did. He went in there and dismantled him. But once it was clear that, I think it was probably past like halfway through the second round that Max just couldn't do anything once he got taken down. It was like, oh, so this is what it's going to be the rest of the fight, huh? Like, this is going to be Dricus versus Hamzat. Like, this is really what it's going to turn into. And there were even moments when Charles was striking with Max on the feet in the first round. Like, dude, he was stunning Max. Like, Max is getting hurt and getting backed up, like, quick. And, Max is using a lot of footwork because he, to me, I don't think he wanted to stand in there with the power of Charles. Charles was chopping him down with leg kicks. So I don't know if he would have been at a disadvantage on the feet just with his power, but, he decided to take the basically the easiest route to victory, which, hey, in this case, he's trying to build his way towards the title. So I can understand why, he fought that way, but just not the way the BMF fight should go.
I agree, man. I agree. Let's get in the
there were a
chat.
lot of people upset, like, dude, and I will say, like, because I will say ever since, like, UFC has been on Paramount, like, I've had a lot more people, like, hitting me up about, like, big time fights, or like the numbered events or things like that. But dude, there were a lot of people upset about the way that that BMF fight went. So I can imagine, like, if you're like a first time fan watching or something like that, you're like, oh, it's on Paramount, or you caught some of the fights, you caught the Hobocop fight on CBS while I was on CBS for a little bit. You might turn it over to Paramount and say, oh, let's see what the rest of this card's about. And then you see that main event, dude. I can see
And then
that
2 out of the 5 fights are just nut huggings, like the fucking Raul Rosas Jr. We didn't even talk about. We fucking skipped right over.
Well, because I was actually going to mention that, but I figured you would just kind of blew by it because you didn't really care about it. But dude, I will say, like, for Rob Font and Raul Rosas. So because we're talking about the main event, it can kind of go back and forth. Charles Oliveira was taking Max down. Of course, he's going for the submissions, and they're booing Charles Oliveira. Ultimately, I agree with the fans because I think, at the end of the day, we were expecting the war and end up being just path of least resistance. But for Raul Rosas, dude, the entire fight, Raul Rosas landed 8 significant strikes. The entire fight. With
Dude,
all
what I
the
say
control
last
time that he
week
had.
though? What I say last week though? It's like
Dude.
he ain't gonna do shit besides do enough to be winning, dude.
Yeah, dude, and that's all. And it's like, that's like old school UFC, to where it's like, oh yeah, you're not doing anything except for control. Like, you're not trying to. This is a wrestling match to him. Like, and he's treating it as such, and it's getting him wins. And you beat Rob Font, who admittedly has a hole in his game when it comes to takedown defense. I was super frustrated watching that fight, dude, just because I was like, dude, will Rob Font not learn? How are you in a wrestler stance with your arms basically extended to where if he shoots, you can be in a position to either try to sprawl, get the underhook, something, and you get taken down every single time. It is absolutely insane. But when Robert Rosas is getting the takedowns, people are cheering. The crowd was cheering for him. What are we cheering for? He's doing nothing. At least Charles Oliveira is trying to go for a submission. I know the BMF fight. I know it's supposed to be a war. I understand that part. You are booing Charles Oliveira for going for submissions, and Raul Rosas is holding for dear life, hoping that Rob Font doesn't get up. And Rob Font is, luckily for Raul Rosas, Rob Font has the IQ of a baby when it comes to defending takedowns or getting back up to his feet once he gets taken down. So, yes, Raul Rosas got the win there. I don't understand why people were cheering for him when he was getting the takedown, because he was doing nothing with it. And 2, that's the type of performance from Raul Rosas to where I'm saying, dude, you fought Rob Font. You were going to get, I'm not going to say annihilated by the top 10, but you're not going to get much further past the top 10. I'd say you might beat like a Cheeto or somebody like that, just because we know how Cheeto fights at this point. But he's not beating, I don't even think he's beating Eamon Zahabi. Like, he's not beating Zahabi. He's not beating, I was going to say Aljo, but any of the top guys up there, I don't even think he's beating Song. I think Raul Rosas is going to have a tough time if we don't see any development in this game.
I agree, man. I agree, because the only time we saw any hands on him was when he fought that absolute bum Terrence Mitchell dude. So.
And I don't think he's been in the UFC since.
Nah. I guess aside from that, other takeaway from the card, main event was I saw Paramount Plus went out for a lot of people during midway through the second into the third round, and like when it happened, I was like, oh shit, what's going on? But then I was like, oh yeah, this is fucking Paramount Plus. I know this shit happens. So I hopped on fucking Stream East, and fucking found a link. And then I saw everyone online complaining about it, and I'm like, well, guess what you guys fucking missed? Just guess what you guys missed. Fucking the same shit that happened the rest of the fucking fight. You didn't miss shit. Calm down. Now, if there would have been a finish during that time, I would have understood fucking being upset. But it's like, bro, you didn't that shit came back on, and the same shit was happening as was happening before, dude.
Yeah, and it happened to everybody, because I even messaged you while it happened. I was like, dude, did your broadcast just go out? And you had mentioned to me that it did. So I was glad that mine wasn't the only one that went out, but just to say that man, Paramount, you're not getting off to the hottest of starts, considering that I would say you had a pretty low bar to clear from ESPN
I told you,
Plus.
dude. I told you, dude.
Yeah, and there's some things to work on with their stream as well. So it lost stream the other day, but I will say, for the most part, if I'm playing it on my phone and I'm just using my regular data, the pictures clear on Paramount, and I like the way that it's a little bit harder to find them when you're searching for them on the app. But I like when you go to the sports section, you're watching the fights, they have all the fights stacked on top of one another. So you could just, click one after another. You're not, having to scroll all the way back down to the bottom like on ESPN Plus. There's been some ups and downs with Paramount Plus, but definitely some downs this past week.
That's fair, man. Let's get in the chat. Let's see what we got. So, I think Champ fell. Let's get in the chat, see what y'all are saying about fights this past weekend. Antoine wants to know what he just walked into. I ain't seen like that since Dennis Rodman on the Bulls. Heroes, been wearing his bald cap the past few months, growing it out, and he finally let it out. Why let it out today? For the thumbnail, and he cried with his thanks to cake. Are you
shaving next week?
Are you wearing this the whole show, dearest? That's the rules of being clean sweep, Antoine. This really might be it for Cody, dude. What we should have done last week.
Should have been it for Cody, but the problem is the UFC keeps giving him opportunities, and only Lord knows why at this point. Because, as you said, he won the fight off of a guy losing 2 points. Think about that. Even if you thought Cody didn't win a round, won a round, whatever, he won a fight because the guy lost 2 points. That's just where his career is at this point. I think he should just go out on a win. I mean, God's honest truth. You got to win. Just ride off in the sunset.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I can't take it serious.
No, Antoine, that's the problem. You have to take me serious, because this is nothing but seriousness.
I feel like I already didn't want to be there. Yeah, dude. Let's talk about D-Rose getting. Let's talk about your boy D-Rose getting this shit pushed in her eyes. Fucking patchy mix,
dude. So I told you, he had to have been on all the juice in the world with Bellator, dude. Dude, I have no idea what happened to Patchy Mix. Okay, and one, he should not have been fighting at 145. Who thought oh yeah, you're a big bantamweight, dude? He was never a big bantamweight to begin with. He's very, kind of real skinny. He has no muscle definition or anything. So to move up to 145 is the bad thing. And then for you to go in there against, I know people kept saying a teenager, but that kid actually looked kind of crispy on the feet though. I can't lie. But Patchy Mix, gosh, what a fall from grace. I mean, just as, again, for what he did through Bellator, those last 3-4 fights in Bellator, dude, that dude was an absolute machine. finishing everybody. I mean, it was absolutely crazy what he was doing to everybody. And for him to, all of a sudden just get his shit pushed back in like that, dude, it was just what a fall from grace it has been for him, and very sad to say the least.
Yeah, man. How's the quality of the hair though? Because that shit was $24.
I mean, are you wanting me to be the judge on the quality of the hair?
You're like, well, I don't have any.
Right, like, what do you expect
What?
me to do?
The fucking Dave's comment cracked me up. Hold on. This right here. D-Rose looks like Carrot Top with the receipt.
I still don't know if I'm wearing it right, but
I don't know.
I still don't know if I'm wearing it right, but we making it work.
Close enough. All right, D-Rose, let's get in to what's about to be my favorite part of the show, dude. In the wig, the Wheel of Doom, dude.
I think I'm losing connection, guys.
I'm so excited.
Are y'all
dude.
there?
Let me at
it.
D-Rose fucking muted it. I heard the thing mute. I heard the button say open file. I had the cheese wheel pulled up. D-Rose got to get the Doom wheel back. Boom, there it is. All right, so let me share this tab instead, and I will get the Doom wheel pulled up. What are you hoping for this week, D-Rose? Do you want sours or do you want to try your hand with the fire beans? You trying to act like you're frozen, dog.
Man, that was close.
What are
I
you hoping
know
for,
the
though?
crowd is going for a little bit. I know Dave was like, "Oh man, here we go."
Of course, he freezes right now.
Oh, God.
Well, I guess your hair kind of matches the fire beans, right?
Man, just put me out of my misery at this point, man. Just take me
All
away,
right.
put me out of my misery.
So this past weekend, UFC 326, we had 4 different picks, 3 of which counted Alberto Montez versus Ricky Tercios, Bruno Hulk versus Hobo Cop, that was the one that did not count out of the 4 fights. We had Drew Dober versus Michael Dominguez Johnson and Raul Rosas Jr. versus Rob Font, in which I had Alberto Montez, Drew Dober, and Raul Rosas Jr. D-Rose had Ricky Tercios, Michael Johnson, and Rob Font, which gives me the clean sweep this week, which is why D-Rose grew out his hair, gives me the pick champ, and gives me the opportunity to spin this wheel for old D-Rose to figure out what flavor he's eating this week. Is it sour? Is it fire? And if it's fire, what flavor fire will it be? Let's get a spin going. Come on, fire. Oh, it's going to be sour, dog. It's going to be sour. Yeah. Sour. There's the sour, D-Rose. That's what you wanted.
Honestly, I don't even know which one I want at this point, but the part that I know that's tough about the sour is fighting through the initial pain. Like,
dude, imagine how crazy you're about to look. Look about how crazy you are. You're about to look with that hair on, man, making a crazy face.
Like, it legit hurts.
Apple flavor, huh?
Yeah. I'm not trying.
Wait, should you have to take off the glasses for eating sour beans? Ain't that part of the process?
The hair's in my eyes.
After the beans, you can put them back on.
I don't remember you taking yours off.
I had fire last week.
That's true. But, I mean, we could have seen your eyes water.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I had the least of all. Dude, you look like a mad scientist. You look like you found a fucking alternative fuel.
Ah. Oh god.
Fucking D-Rose like, don't let the government know. I fucking found a way to turn plastic into fuel.
I'm hurt. I'm hit.
I can have your Kia K5 running on all the plastic water bottles.
Oh gosh.
How's the apple, dog? Good, bad? Fucking more sour than the fruits that you had?
Much more sour.
Oh my goodness.
I'm getting some of the actual candy flavor. And like
It's gonna start squirting out at
I
you.
swallowed I swallowed it like kind of wrong. Pause. And now it's like stuck in my throat a little bit. So now I feel like my throat is sour.
Oh my goodness. Dave says this is the new Beangate pretending to freeze. Roll the dice there. You can see D-Rose's movie in the reflection in sunglasses. Your glasses are giving you away this week, D-Rose.
Glasses are puts the bow on top of everything.
Just give the man the claims away. D-Rose don't know ball anymore. Take the glasses off. Oh man,
dude, you know I know ball. You know I know ball, bro. Hey, the record's been on my side this week or this year or at least the start of it for who's been winning. So we've been rolling. We took some chances last week. All right, we took some chances because I still don't believe in Robert Rosas. And Michael Johnson was winning that fight until he wasn't. So I wasn't like so far off, but we getting it back this week.
Indeed. So let's get into our UFC news
It's like oozing. Pause.
Of course.
Yeah. It's like oozing.
Yeah. That's what happens, D-Rose. That's what happens, man. Let's get into our UFC news and fight announcements if you'd want to. Actually, it don't matter if you want to. That's what we're doing.
We got some big announcements.
I know, but I just now opened up my Instagram. This takes the cake, dude. We need to talk about this first. Wow. UFC cuts Chris Moutinho again. How could they? Undeservingly cut Chris Moutinho. What did he do to UFC to make them cut him, man? Came in the UFC, what, 3-0, 4-0, didn't lose a second of any fight, dude. I mean, absolutely just wrongful cutting by the UFC. This is basically Muhammad Mokaev getting cut all over again, man. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, dude, he smoked Sean O'Malley. He smoked Malcolm Wellmaker. Like, I mean
Guido Canetti,
yeah. Yeah, I don't understand what the issue is, but Christian Quinones, he smoked him too. Is this the ultimate boring championship, from what we just saw this past week? I mean, I don't understand what we're doing with Chris Moutinho, man. I mean, we need the all ever changing color hair of the mohawk.
Yeah. And I got one to top that, dude. Look at this. Dana White reveals that Donald Trump specifically requested Kyle Dawkins to be on the White Cup. That's from the Show Me the Money pod, though. So who knows if like fucking Moicano is just kind of bullshitting. But that being said, let's get into this UFC White House card. I'm trying to find the card. Where's it going to be? ESPN?
Yeah.
Or probably not, right?
I pulled it up on my phone on ESPN.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying like the fight card.
For this week or for the announcements?
No, for the White House card. There it is.
You know what? I'm surprised. Oh, I was going to say I'm surprised you didn't just share the screenshot you sent me last week.
Yeah, there it is. UFC Freedom 250. It is headlined by Justin, the Highlight Gaethje, taking on Ilya, the Matador Taporia, to unify the 155-pound title. I don't know why there's an interim anyway, but anyway, co-main event for the interim heavyweight title is none other than Poatan, Alex Pereira, moving up to take on Cyril Gane. We was expecting that. One that we weren't expecting, though, was Sean O'Malley versus Amin Zahabi, dude. How do we get Amin Zahabi on the White House card? Like, I understand the top two, but can we not do Sean O'Malley versus Corey Sandhagen or against the person that he's gonna crush? Like, this is against Amin Zahabi. One, no one knows who the fuck Amin Zahabi is, and two, dude, his fucking fight style is a lot of do nothing, dude. It's like I want to pick Sean O'Malley to win, like fucking via decision there, but it's like, man, that fight probably ain't entertaining at all, if I'm going to be honest. One that I am excited by, but we have an American pretty much going to get his head fucking kicked off his fucking shoulders in Mauricio Hoofy versus Michael Chandler here. This is like, I don't think Bo Nickel deserves to be on there. Nor do I think Kyle, like, what are we doing putting Kyle Dawkins on the White House card? Like, unless Trump specifically requested that, what are we doing here? Like, you know, like, what's happening? And then we got Mean Machine Steve Garcia taking on Diego Lopez, which should be an absolute banger. I don't really know why Diego Lopez accepted that fight, though, if I'm going to be completely honest. But, yeah, as a whole, 6 fights should be some bangers, man. Do I wish it would have been 7 or 8, maybe, you know, throw a few prelims on there as well? I wouldn't have hated that, but it looks like this is going to be 6 fights and on a Sunday, dude. So, I guess give me your thoughts on everything, brother.
So for me, the biggest takeaway for me, honestly, was with Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane, and for it to be for the interim title, not even the vacant or you know, or anything like that. Now, you know, we've seen how the UFC over the last couple of years, heck, you can even say Alex Pereira now, you know, you made, you know, champs like that, you know, vacate their titles, you know, they're moving up. And I understand that part, but even, you know, again, I know I've used this reference a lot, but Yuri Prohaska and Jamal Hill were both champions that you asked them to, hey, can y'all, you know, vacate for a second? You know, let this thing simmer, let a fight happen, and then you'll get the fight next. I mean, you know, I know Tom Aspinall and the UFC have not been on the best of terms. I just wish Alex Pereira was fighting for undisputed. It just feels weird to see him vacate his light heavyweight title to move up to fight for an interim heavyweight title. Like, so you're telling me
by the time the fight happens, it might be for the official title, dude. Who the hell knows?
I would like that to be the case, but it's just weird seeing, you know, Pereira in an interim title fight. So even if he does beat Cyril Gane, you mean to tell me that we're not going to credit him as a 3-division champion because, oh, well, you haven't been the undisputed yet? So what's the point in even moving up and fighting for the interim to begin with if you're not going to get the, you know, the undisputed title shot? So that was weird for me. I love the fight, and I love that Alex Pereira is taking a chance. It's just for the interim is what's just kind of throwing me off with that. Gaethje and Taporia, I think, you know, I've been kind of shouting this for the last few months. I was like, man, it's really the only American fighting for a title that you can present in the main event or main or co-main. You know, that a fight that would really make sense. I know some people were saying potentially Hamzat versus Dricus or Hamzat versus Sean Strickland. One, Sean Strickland has mentioned that he does not want to fight on the White House card. And, dude, I would not be surprised if Hamzat ended up having a couple of issues considering his background and things that would prohibit him from fighting on the White House card. So, yeah, we were kind of expecting Gaethje and Taporia there, so not too much of a surprise for me. Zahabi against O'Malley. I can understand them.
Not O'Malley, just Zahabi. Like, what the hell? Out of all people, him?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Just in terms of, I can see why they want to put Sean O'Malley on the card because he is one of the biggest American stars, and he does have a flashy style. So I can see why people want to watch him fight. But put him against Avon Zahabi is just a weird matchup, and I don't even need the Sandhagen fight because a lot of people are saying the Sandhagen fight, but I just feel like that's too. I don't want to say too on the nose, but again, I feel like that fight's there at any time. And I think what Sean O'Malley is trying to do is get a win so he can try to basically reserve a title shot against Peter Yan. Then I think, if he can beat Peter Yan or whatever, maybe he can fight Corey Sandhagen then. But, I understand Chandler being on the card, but against Hoofy, again, another weird matchup. I wasn't expecting that. Nickel versus Dawkins. I can understand why they got Bo Nickel on the card because, represent America in the Olympics. But then he had against Kyle Dawkins, who, again, as you said, not a lot of people are too aware of. But apparently Trump requested it. Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily believe that quote. I think that we might be taking that quote out of context if I had to guess. But Steve Garcia and Diego Lopez, that's actually a banger fight. Like, I actually love that fight. It's just random because, like, I don't know if Steve Garcia was ever regarded as like the biggest American type, but Diego Lopez just like people are saying like, oh well, Diego Lopez, he's getting all these opportunities with the UFC and blah blah blah, but they keep coming to him for a reason, dude. Like he keeps saying yes to all of them. Like like he says yes, and he ends up going in there and fighting because everyone's like, oh wow, Diego Lopez keeps getting the opportunities. He says yes to all the opportunities that the UFC has presented to him. That's why they respect him and they put him in big time cards or give him big time opportunities because he ultimately says yes at the end of the day. So, like people trying to say that against Diego Lopez as if that's a knock on him, but to me it just goes to show that the UFC respects him. So, and I actually like that fight. Like, is it a random fight to have on the White House card? Yes, but Lopez versus Garcia, no complaints out of me. It might be honestly the most. I don't want to say the most anticipated fight on the card, but that could have the potential to be the biggest fight of the night.
Yeah, like the biggest banger outside of the fucking main event because like all the other ones, dude, could end up being just fucking sparring matches, man.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what. I guess what's your thoughts on it being fucking 6 fights as all together and it being on Sunday?
6 fights all together. I guess not super surprising just because if you've heard Dana nonstop talking these press conferences and stuff, he's mentioned time and time again where hey, this event's going to cost what? I think it was 60 million was the number that. Oh, it's going to cost $60 million and all this money and all this stuff and everything's crazy. And yeah, he can't spend all his money. So yeah, like it costing a lot of money. Not super surprised that it's 6 fights on the card. Just and to be fair, Alex Pereira, Ilya Topuria, Justin Gaethje, Sean O'Malley, like you got 4 like your biggest stars on the card. Probably got a pretty big bankroll that you're paying out to a lot of those fighters, and 3 of those fighters that I mentioned are in championship fights, and I can't imagine Cyril Gane's getting paid chump change either, because typically the heavyweights get paid more, and he's in another title fight, so I got to imagine he's getting pretty well as well. So yeah, I can imagine that it's probably gonna be pretty expensive to put on the whole event, all this stuff. So, but for the Sunday, that's just cheesy, dude. Again, I told you that they're hosting the event on Donald Trump's birthday. July 4th is on a Saturday. So, like, if you actually wanted to do it on America's 250th birthday, you can do it on July 4th, and there would be no issue. But it just kind of looked like kind of like a backdoor handshake for Dana, and Trump, their buddies or whatnot. Not, I'm not getting into politics. No, none of that's, my concern because I really don't care, to be honest. But just a little weird when you could actually do it on America's 250th birthday, but you do it on the president's birthday, which is weird. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's get into the rest of this other news that we got. We got one just now announced, it looks like. Looks like Aljamain Sterling versus Yusuf Zalal, April 25th. Probably going to be the main event for the Apex. What's your thoughts on that, man? I haven't seen Aljo in a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, he's been doing he like his last fight with Ortega, and he was at RAF, and he was even saying the other day, like, dude, the UFC is not giving me any fights at all, and they're icing me. And even I told you I listened to Annika Florian, the podcast, and they have Ray Longo on there, and he believes that the UFC has been kind of icing Aljo to this point. So, Aljo's been asking for fights, and I think this is one where Yusuf Zalal, he's definitely good. I could almost say they're kind of a little bit of the same fighter. Like, I think, Yusuf Zalal might be a little bit quicker, but just in terms of their skill sets, they're very similar fighters. And if this is 5 rounds, Yusuf Zalal is probably going to be, a pretty decent favorite. But I'd be looking at Aljo to potentially make some noise in that matchup.
Yeah, man. It should be a fun match. We also have JJ Aldridge taking on Squamish, British Columbia's own Jamie Lynn Horth. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I know that's your girl, but
she's from Squamish, dude. What you know about Squamish?
Yeah, that is true. I don't know much about it. You are right, but I don't really.
Anyway. Moving on to the next one, we got Marcin Tybura taking on Tyrell Fortune. This is added to UFC Seattle, man. So, a few weeks.
Dude, when is the last time Tyrell Fortune has fought?
I mean, he has on fucking Bellator gloves there, the old Bellator gloves. So I'm gonna guess 2018. That's my guess. Probably before we started the podcast, because I haven't heard his name in a long time.
Dude, that's what I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, am I tripping? Like, has he fought recently and we just didn't realize it, or
possibly, but like outside of the UFC, I don't pay attention, dog. Like, unless I see a highlight or something. Like, shout out Patchy Mix,
So he's been fighting recently. Okay, I guess I don't know. I just felt like I hadn't heard that name in a while, but he'd been fighting on the regional scene for the last year or two, and he's working his way to the UFC. He was in the PFL for a little bit, of course, in Bellator for a long time before then. So,
dude, 17
it looks like he has fought over the last couple of years.
Fucking 17-3 overall. That ain't bad, dude. He's
a pretty good striker. Like,
yeah.
He's a pretty good explosive striker, and I think that's a good addition for heavyweight. He's 35 of what I'm looking at now, so and of course heavyweights age a little bit later, but he's the type of fighter where I think if his wheels are on right, I think he can kind of fight at the top of the division already, just because where heavyweights at right now.
That's fair, man. Moving on, we have Alan Fry taking on Max Jimenez. Dude, they left Max Jimenez in the UFC still. All right. Anyway, we have Lando Inada taking on Beast Mode. Not Marshawn Lynch. It's Darius Flowers. What's your thoughts on this one?
Hey, I mean, Lando Banana. He seems to have a good relationship with the UFC, but I mean,
he fucking seems to have fucking found his pants and put them back on.
Yeah. Was it him? No. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't him. Charles Jourdain had it. Yeah, no, it was him.
He choked his pants off.
Damn, Lando, it was him. I forgot about that. That's crazy. Yeah, damn. But you know what though? If there is a matchup for him that's winnable at this point, it would be Darius Flowers. Like, Darius Flowers is okay, but decent boxer, but has no takedown defense whatsoever. And Lando Venata has some pretty good, some pretty good wrestling and pretty decent submissions as well. So I can see that being a winnable fight for Lando.
That's fair. This is on the White House card. That's 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 on the White House card. And that one we all talked about already. I guess there is the card from this past weekend.
We didn't talk
And
about
then
that.
we got this one. May 9th in New Jersey, we got Waldo Cortez Acosta taking on Alexander Volkov. I think this is probably going to be WCA's biggest test, is a person like Volkov, dude, that's just going to be way bigger than him, dude. This is a fun one. I don't know who I would pick right away, to be honest, or right off the top of my head, man. No clue. Thoughts on this fight?
I can understand because where Waldo Cortez Acosta has, it seems like he's gotten like so much better, so quickly. So like, it would tend to ride the wave, but I think that's if he doesn't land the home run shot on Volkov, I think Volkov should be able to have or if Cortez Acosta doesn't end up using wrestling, because we have seen him use a little bit of wrestling in some of his, I know not all of his fights, but in some of his last few fights, I know he tried to use some against Pavlovich, had to use some against his, a little bit of his wrestling defense as well against Spivak. But if he can wrestle Volkov to the ground, I think he could, potentially have a chance. But if he keeps it standing, I could see Volkov kind of using them kicks and picking them apart.
Yeah, man. Me as well. We also have a fun one here, dude. I don't know who I would pick here either, but it's happening April 25th in the Apex. We got Norma Dumont, the dump truck driver, taking on Jocelyn La Pantera Edwards, dude. Fun fight, dude. It should be a close fight. It's not gonna blow the doors off your barn by any means, but should mean a lot for who's gonna be fighting for the title soon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And that, what a turn for Jocelyn Edwards to be on one of my, like, not most hated fighters, but the least watchable fighters. Like, I was like, dude, I just cannot watch a Jocelyn Edwards fight to save my life. And dude, she has been smoking fools out here, like smoking them,
Smoking these hoes.
four straight finishes. And fighting against Norma Dumont, who we know Norma Dumont, she hasn't been the most active. So I think that's really been Norma's problem, is that
and she's probably gonna she'll probably fucking give her the fight that she wants too, because this, like, it's like fucking Norma Dumont like wants the counter, and like fucking Jocelyn Edwards will fucking go forward, dude. So should be a good fight.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, yeah, the biggest problem for Norma, she's just not the most active, so we just hadn't seen her a lot, but she's one who we've held in high regard in this division, that, she's one of the top girls in the division. So I think, the winner of this fight, either one could potentially stake their claim for a shot at the title. So yeah, it's an interesting matchup.
Yeah, man. Moving on, we have Nazim Sadikov taking on Markel Madero. Should be an easy win for Nazim Sadikov, yeah?
You would think, but and I know you pointed out in his fights too, and we're both Nasty Nas fans, but dude does get clipped a lot. So you would just like to see, and he's willing to go for it, which is what you love. But yeah, you just want to see him, potentially clean up that defense a little bit, maybe just come in just a little bit cleaner, because he's a clean striker, has some good power. Just sometimes leaves himself out there a little bit too much and gets exposed for it at times.
That's fair, man. Moving on, we have Montel Jackson taking on Honey Barcelos. They're still putting Honey Barcelos in there, huh? Born in '87 and still doing the damn thing.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he's Neil Magny of bantamweight. Like, I mean, we just had to face it, and this, those are the facts about Honey Barcelos. The dude is a prospect killer, and there are going to be times where prospects get by him, but more often than not, he's going to turn the prospect back. So we got to respect it. But Montel Jackson is a super explosive dude too. So I'd say.
But this is another same fight for Montel Jackson. There, it's like he only fights old guys. Like, name a dude that he fought that wasn't like fucking 38 years old.
Besides Damone Blackshear, but I get your point.
He's just fighting all the old guys, like in fucking fights like once every 2 years, and it's the guy that's old as shit. Anyway, we have Abdul Rakhmonyakev taking on Brennison Haberio. Care about that one at all?
I do not.
All right, fair enough. We'll move on to the next one, where we have Ricky Simone taking on Adrian Yanez. This is in Washington. Have we talked about this one yet? 5 days ago. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, we have not.
I
I
thought
did
I
not
got a
realize
hair
that.
in my ear or something.
Yeah, I did not know that. Well, I've got hair in my ear too. To be fair, but it's not bothering me. I got plenty of hair in my
Damn.
ear, and it's not bothering me. But yeah, for Yanez, I'm a fan of him, but this is a tough matchup for him, man. Because if he struggled against Marcos, with the wrestling, and Marcos doesn't have the best of gas tanks, and Yanez, was kind of unable to find him there at the end of the fight, and I would say Ricky Simone, a lot more experience, better wrestler. I think he's probably gonna be the thicker dude. Like Yanez might be the taller guy, of course, better hands, but Ricky Simone's got some experience and he's got some skill, man. So that's a tough matchup for Yanez.
I agree, man. I agree. Moving on, we have Ignacio Bahamundes taking on Tofik Musayev. Dude, is this like a step back for fucking Bahamundes? But I mean, he did just fucking lose the fucking what's his name, so kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, Faziv's also a top 10 lightweight too. So it's not like it's not like it's a bad loss there, but I'm just be curious if this actually happens.
Okay.
And maybe it could, I don't know, but and this is for UFC Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if this fight even happens. If I'm being honest.
It's fair, man. We have Clayton Carpenter taking on. Okay, we talked about that one last week. Jose Ochoa, because you asked me something about Clayton Carpenter. Anyway, so that is the news that we have for this week. So we'll jump back into the chat, see what you guys are saying, see if we missed anything that y'all want to talk about while D Rose
I whip my head back and forth. I whip my head back and forth.
I knew it was fucking coming, so if I can set you up perfectly. I was like, while D Rose is.
I whip my head back and forth. I whip my head back and forth.
All right, let's see here. All right. Let's see what you guys are.
Nah,
saying.
Antoine, Matt wore the wig last week, bro. He wore it last week. I'm wearing it this week, but nah, we ain't. Yeah. Nah, the only time we're ever wearing the wigs is if we get clean swept in the pig champ. So
yeah,
definitely ain't gonna happen this week.
Jeff K letting us know Aljo versus Zalal. Heartbreaking 30-27. Just going down here. Dave saying he stands. I stand correctly. Trump don't know ball. Yeah. Anyway, we had Jeff saying the Dawkins family leaked that Trump wanted him on the card. If you believe that, dear.
I'm sorry, I was reading another comment.
That the Dawkins family leaked that Trump wanted him on the card.
That whole thing still sounds weird. Like I said, if I had to bet that Show Me the Money podcast comment, definitely out of context.
All right. You're not going to do 6 title fights. Every last fighter should be American. Anyway, Antoine wanted to know if I can pull up a video. Antoine, I am not going to click on my Instagram messages right now to try to find your comment.
Hey, so I did see a thing where while you're pulling up some stuff that I believe it was one of Hamza's managers who said, hey, there was some sort of tweet that was saying that, hey, don't book Sean Strickland for any interviews after May 9th. He's going to get his jaw wired shut or something like that. So, I can probably pull up that little tweet to show it to you, but think there's a chance that they're going to go ahead and move forward and give Strickland the title shot over Imavov.
Right now it makes more sense because no one gives a shit about Imavov, man. Yeah. And it's an easy title defense for Hamza.
You think so?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. It's, I mean, for me, honestly, I do think Strickland ends up being a really tough matchup. especially with the gas tank.
Man, I just don't see
Oh,
how
I
it looks
just-
any different than like the fucking Dricus fights, you know?
I also just seen Manuel Torres is actually out of the match.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Yeah, I saw that earlier.
He's out of that matchup, and it looks like Benil's wanting to stay on the card, but they're going to have to look for another opponent.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, so it was his manager. He said whoever is managing Sean's schedule needs to cancel all his podcast recordings after May 9th because you can't talk into a mic. You can't talk into a mic with a wired shut jaw.
Oh wow, interesting. So, do you think he has a fight scheduled for May 9th?
I mean, there's not a pay-per-view announced for May yet, right? And I mean,
Yeah,
as
I
far as
don't-
I know, there's been no announcement, and I mean, May 9th is on a Saturday. It's the second Saturday of May, so
I guess we'll see.
it makes sense.
I guess we'll see, man. I guess we'll see. Anyway, let's get into the fights for this weekend. I know D Rose is excited to get this show on the road. He's only been wearing the wig for about an hour now, so you know we gotta.
Ready to tap out in this freaking thing.
Hey man, don't get clean swept. It's that easy, dog.
We're coming this week, baby. We're coming.
I'm coming. I gotta turn the volume off before we get some Colgate commercials in my fucking ear.
Maybe
'Cause
it's
it'll do-
Maybelline.
Dude, it does that. Colgate commercials and shit. I know fucking D Rose has got the pearly whites, but they ain't paying us, dog. All right, D Rose. So this weekend in the Las Vegas Meta Apex, that's what they're calling it now, we have 14 fights to go over, taking place Saturday, 5 p.m. East Coast time. Main event is Josh Emmett. Was it? Is it CC4? Fucking CCE, CTE Emmett? What is it? CCO Emmett? I don't know. Taking on Kevin Vallejos. Co-main event is Amanda Lemos taking on the Savage, Jillian Robertson. Feature fight is Omar C taking on Ewan the Hulk Kutalaba. We have Andre Touchy-Feely taking on a fun fighter in the UFC, Jose Delgado. We have Marwan Rahiki taking on D Rose's favorite fighter on this card specifically, the bowling ball that is Harry Hardwick. We have Vitor Petrino taking on Steven Asplund. We have Bruno Bulldog Silva taking on Charles Energy Johnson. I met Charles Energy Johnson a few weeks ago at UFC Houston. Anyway, we have Brad Tavares taking on Eric, your boy, Anders. We have Chris Action Man Curtis taking on Miktabik Orabai. We have Balaji Oki taking on Manelo Sosa. We have Luan Lacerda taking on Hetcher Sosa. We have Bia Mesquita, the Lady Goat, taking on Montserrat Rendon, or Monsty, she goes by now. We have Elijah Swift Smith taking on Su Young Yu Jiu-Jitsu. And the opening fight of the night is a rematch. We all asked for it. It is Piera La Fiera Rodriguez taking on Sam Page Hughes. Get ready for that one. It's going to be a banger to open up the fights. First fight of the night. Fights that did fall out were Bruno Silva, Leonard Cavanaugh. Obviously, Leonard Cavanaugh fought Brandon Moreno a couple weeks ago. Vitor Petrino, Kennedy and Zechiku. Kennedy and Zechiku realized he was ass and pulled out of the fight, I guess. And Rinya Nakamura pulled out of Luan Lacerda. There must have been seriously something wrong with him to pull out of a Luan Lacerda fight. Yeah. Thoughts on the card as a whole, D-Rose?
Biggest takeaway for me is man, there is a smorgasbord of names on here. I mean, Balaji Oki, Miktabik Orbai, Bia Mesquita, there's a bunch of good names on here.
Dude, after Namjargel Tumanumarel last week, I'm good, dude. There ain't a name that I can't say at this point.
Yeah, no, that is true. But just in terms
And
of,
not
I don't
only
know
for
if
the
this
podcast, for Change of Cheddar as well. Like,
yeah, but just the funny names on this card in general, and then me, not gonna lie, every time I hear Harry Hardwick, I just see
him
him
just
literally
rolling
just
down a
rolling on the
lane.
floor.
Just
Yeah, I know.
rolling down the lane, knocking on offense.
Honestly, well, no, I'll introduce the fight name that I'm gonna give him when we proceed. But yeah, every time I hear Harry Hardwick's name, I always think of Harry Hunsucker. I think of Harry Hunsucker, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's the dude who was just rolling every time he got his leg kicked. Yeah, dude, that was, oh my god. I mean, dude, Lord bless it. I know he's going out there, putting on fights, but putting on his health and safety on the line. But dude, that's some of the funniest stuff I've seen is watching him roll around on the floor like that. That is hilarious.
The worst part about it is there's a chance it happens again this week because the dude that he's fighting, dude, is a tall dude, long, good kickboxing, good leg kicks, dude. There's a chance the exact same thing happens, dude. 4 leg kicks in, we just see Harry Hunsucker, Harry Hardwick turning into a fucking bowling ball, like just rolling toward him, trying to knock him down because he can't stand anymore. He's just looking for the pins at this point. Anyway, first fight of the night. Or hold on, let's see what you guys are saying before we get into the first fight of the night. We got Antoine riding with Josh Emmett. Okay, Antoine, we should stall him, make him wear it longer for picking Rita. Nero's wearing the wig. Poster kind of fire. The meta anus. CCO. I thought it was CTE. My bad. This card's lucky better than the White House card. Where y'all? Antoine, I'm gonna stop clicking your comments, man. First fight of the night, we've got Pierre LaPierre Rodriguez taking on Sam Page Hughes. We've got Pierre Rodriguez is 11-2 overall. Out of her last 5 fights, she has 3 wins and 2 losses. Win over Sam Hughes 3 years ago, because this is a rematch. She had a loss against Julian Robertson, headbutting Ariane Carnelius. I'll let fucking D-Rose tell you all about that in just 1 second. She did beat Josephine Knudsen, which was a surprising. They cut her after that. And then she beat Kellen Souza 7 months ago. She is 33 years old, 5'3" and a 63-inch reach, while Sam Hughes is 11-6 overall. Her only loss in the past 2 years is to Yasmin Haregi. She did beat Jackie Amarim, Victoria Dudakova, Stephanie Luciano, and Shauna Bannon since then. 33 years old, 5'5" and a 64-inch reach. D-Rose, I feel like you already know which way I'm leaning. I'm going to let you break this down and let me know about that Pierre Rodriguez headbutt that she lost by.
Yeah. Well, it was just, super frustrating because I had Pierre Rodriguez on that. I believe I had her on a best slip. And, and for Carnelossi too, when she was fighting a fight, like she was putting it on, Carnelossi for the most part during that fight, and was just getting frustrated at, certain times when, they're on the ground and she's just going for these headbutts when it's like, dude, you're in control, you're in top position. Why are you headbutting? Like you have no reason to be trying to intentionally headbutt anybody right now. You're winning the fight. Like, chill out, dude. But
fucking Mark Smith was like, stop, headbutting, stop. And she was like, just
yes. Like, it just kept doing it. That was the worst part. Like, it just kept doing it. Like it was just like I said, frustrating. And again, she was beating Carnelossi like the whole fight. Like, you didn't need to do it. You were just too much of a hothead and lost yourself at that point. And for me, I'm picking Sam Hughes here. I think Pierre Rodriguez, she might even be probably like the slightly bigger fighter.
She won the last fight.
Yeah, she won her last fight. But yeah, well, and Sam Hughes, she's won her last,
No,
huge
she
fight.
won the last fight because they have already fought 3 years ago.
Right. And yeah, for me, I just think that Sam Hughes, I think, better wrestler, more composed. It has right here on Tapology that Pierre Rodriguez is his favorite. I'm surprised.
Yes.
Give me Sam Hughes by decision to get it done.
Yeah. Well, it's just because they fought 3 years ago, and not a whole lot's changed in the past 3 years for either girl, if I'm going to be honest. But if it's up to me about which fighter is smarter here, to me it's Sam Hughes. Like, she knows what she has to do to win this fight, or that she did wrong in the past. In the past fight, I think anyone can look at this fight and tell you it's going to be round 1, Pierre Rodriguez, round 3, Sam Hughes. It's going to come down to round 2, and if we can see Sam Hughes stuff the takedowns, turn it up a little bit earlier, I think she can win this fight. So, D-Rose, I'm with you. I'm on Sam Hughes to win this fight via decision as the underdog this week. How can I not go with Sam Hughes? Coin flip fight. Last one was a fucking split decision. I like Sam Hughes. Make adjustments, come out here, win the coin flip, and get me a plus money bet. Me and D-Rose agreeing on Sam Hughes this week. Moving on to the next one, we have Elijah Swift Smith taking on Jiu-Jitsu Su Young Yu. Elijah Smith is 9-1 overall. Only loss is to, I think, Junior Cortez. But inside the UFC, knocked out Toshomi Kazama. Vince Morales win. I bet against him there, and won against Aaron Tao on the Contender Series. He is 23 years old, 5'9", and 71-inch reach, while Su Young Yu, Jiu-Jitsu, 16-3 overall, win over Zhao Long, win over AJ Cunningham, win over Bear Gang G.U.S.C., win, that was on the road to UFC. I don't care. He is 30 years old, 5'6", and a 65-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't think this fight's close. Is it really minus 200? Because if so, Elijah Smith is going in all my parlays this week. Elijah Smith's taller, longer, faster, better athlete. I think even if he does get taken down, he gets back up. I saw fucking Vince Morales have him in every choke imaginable, and he just stayed calm and escaped it. I don't think these road to UFC dudes are all that. I think fucking Su Young Yu's best win is over Zhao Long, and we saw him not even win against Cody Garbrandt this past weekend, even though that he got 2 points deducted. I am worried, dude, about Su Young Yu's chin, dude. I don't know if he's ever fought anyone with any kind of power, and I know Elijah Smith does have knockout power, dude, but he's still young, still like learning, solid boxing. If this is a complete fucking striking match, Elijah Smith fucking knocks him out. But I'm worried if he's too worried about stuffing takedowns to really throw hands. So I think I'm going to go Elijah Smith via decision here. What about you, man?
Yeah. I mean, I think you pretty much cleanly broke it down, kind of exactly the way I feel too. I think Elijah Smith is going to be, the better athlete. He's a very capable wrestler. He's got some pretty good striking. We saw him get into a war with Aaron Tao on the Contender Series. So
years old too.
Yeah, we know that he's very capable, explosive athlete, and he's only getting better with time. Su Young Yu, he has shown some ability, and I believe he's undefeated in the UFC. So it's not like that he's a bum by any means. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's a tough fight. I think Su Young Yu brings the fight to Elijah Smith, but I think that wrestling background, good cardio, I think he can kind of push the pace on Su Young Yu a little bit, especially being the longer fighter and being able to get this fight done. I'm gonna go with you, Elijah Smith by decision.
That's fair, man. See what you guys are saying, Antoine. Okay. That makes sense because you're a wizard, Harry. That makes sense, Theoros. That makes sense. I was like, why is Antoine asking us about Harry Potter right now? Because Harry Hardwick.
I guess you hear the name Harry and immediately goes to it. But to answer your question, I did not watch any Harry Potter, so I could I get that for you pretty quickly.
Pedro saying, shout out from Chicago. Elijah actually sells cars like D-Rose out there. Oh yeah, D-Rose. Like I did fucking send you that like the one time, right?
Yeah,
out there
that's why I was
slinging them
like, man, I
Ks.
got to root for him even more now. So yeah, I don't know if I could pick against Elijah Smith at this point, dude. I mean,
Yeah. Too much in common. Too much in common.
Yeah.
Nice teeth, nice hair, sell cars, dude. I mean, shit. Yeah, it's fucking basically the same person.
all I need to do is get a couple fights in, and we're pretty much brothers at this point. I mean, I got the
Yeah.
hair back and everything. So
I know. All right, dude. Moving on up to the next one. We got the Lady Goat, Bia Mesquita, taking on Montserrat Rendon. Yeah, dude. At UFC Noche, she came out to the John Cena. Your time is up. My time is that. I was like, yeah, let's go. Oh man. But anyway, she's taking on the Lady Goat. 6-0, 34 years old, 5'4", and a 67-inch reach. She's had one UFC fight against Irina Alexeva. Before that, she was in LFA as a champion. She is 34 years old. She is like won World Jiu-Jitsu Championship like 7-8 times in a row. But at the same time, in combat jiu-jitsu, she got the shit beat out of her by none other than Juliana Killer Miller. So keep that in mind. Monster Rendon is 7-1 overall. Out of her last 5 fights, she is 4 wins, 1 loss. She fought at Noche 5 months ago against Alice Pereira, the 19-year-old. Before that, she lost against Daira Zelezniakova. Beat Tamaris Vidal via split decision. Not a good look. She's 36 years old, 5'8", a 68-inch reach. D-Rose, if I could count on Montserrat Rendon to stuff the takedowns, I might say she has a chance here. But in Bia Mesquita's last fight, dude, she took down Irina Alexeva with ease, gift wrapped her, and beat the shit out of her. It was almost like fucking, I think it was Mark Smith in there, needed this like the submission prop instead, because he was not stopping that dude. She had Irina Alexeva's arm tied behind her with one behind her neck and was just beating the shit out of her with the other hand, and he did not stop it. She ends up winning the fight via decision, or no, she ended up fucking getting like the rear naked choke. I think it was like fucking round 2 though, but if round 1, dude, it's like she just had her fucking gift wrap, just beating the shit out of her the entire fucking first round. I was like, oh, she's gonna win by fucking knockout, because I had better by like by sub, but apparently Mark Smith did as well. But for me, I don't think Montserrat's takedown defense is good enough to stop what's about to come her way, training with Kayla Harrison and everyone else down at American Top Team. Give me Bia Mesquita to win this fight by round 1 submission. D-Rose, which way are you going here?
Yeah, I won't waste too much time on this. I think Bia Mesquita, obviously the better grappler, highly credentialed in jiu-jitsu, and Monza Rendon, for her, she, for me, I think she's actually the better striker between the two. But if she can't stop the takedown, I mean, there's no sense in I'm not going to say trying, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough night for her if she can't stop the takedowns. Let's just say that. So I think Bia Mesquita, she's shown some danger. I think she comes in here and I think she gets it done. I'm going to go round 2 submission here for Bia Mesquita.
That's fair, man. Moving on to the next one, we got Luan Lacerda taking on Hetcher Sosa. Guanche Warrior Hetcher Sosa. Luan Lacerda is 13-3 overall out of his last 5 fights, but spanning over 5 years at this point in LFA. Let's just take a look at the UFC since 3 years ago. He's lost against Cody Stamann, lost against Damon Blackshear, and beat Simon Oliveira 4 months ago, dude. So in the past 3 years, he's fought 1 time. And it was against a fucking dude that's also ass and almost lost to him as well. He is 33 years old, 5'7", 71-inch reach. While Hetcher Sosa is 14-1 overall, 30 years old, 5'8", and we don't know a reach. He has a win on the Contender Series and hasn't fought since then. So this is a UFC debut. But against Luan Lacerda, dude, who's ass at best, dude, that's being nice. Yeah, I just don't think he really stands a chance. And seeing that he's Spanish, dude, something tells me UFC is trying to sign a whole bunch of these Spanish athletes so they can do a UFC Spain, dude, because they now have obviously Ilya, they got fucking Joel Alvarez, maybe Daniel Bareth. He's pretty decent as well. And Hector Souza, he wins fucking this fight 14-1, dude. I mean, these like all these dudes have pretty clean striking. Like it kind of looks like they might be gearing up to make UFC Spain, especially if he gets this win here and Ilya wins on the White House card, so on and so forth, man. Which way you going? For me, it is Hector Sosa, probably knockout round 2.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I remember Hector Sosa, but for some reason, it's just I'm drawing a blank right now, and I completely overlooked this fight on the card. But I just can't, in my right mind, pick Luan Lacerda to win a fight here. I mean, he's obviously got the submission win a couple years ago or a couple months ago. But
dude, over who though? Simon Oliveira, who's also
right.
Like that fighter was like, who's worse here? like you weren't trying to figure out who was better. Like you're trying to figure out who's worse out of these two fighters.
That is true. But yeah, I'm just going to go Souza here by decision just because I can't.
Damn, you think he's going to last the decision? Shit, son. All right.
Yeah. Let's just go decision here.
All right. Antoine asking us, do you think they'll ever break into Africa? Nah, not after the Francis thing. I think they're done with that. What about you, D-Rose?
Yeah.
He said, I mean, the PFL are established in Africa. I don't mean to laugh, Antoine. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a joke or not.
Yeah. Well, and funny part is, but with Francis leaving the PFL now, but PFL Africa means nothing really.
Dude, fucking Francis just went in there, bent over the owner, pulled down his pants, and just fucked his ass, dude. Like that's exactly all Francis did to the PFL, dude. I think I saw somewhere where he has a fight. Maybe it's for Jake Paul's promotion, and it's against fucking
Felipe Lins.
Yeah, Felipe Lins, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on, dude?
And he's talking about wanting to fight Jake. Like, the problem, Francis, you had the opportunity a couple months ago before he fought Anthony Joshua, and your dumbass said no, that you didn't want. Why would I fight him? Why would I fight Jake Paul? Now you're over here basically begging to fight him. You're a freaking idiot, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love Francis, in terms of his fight style, but yeah, dude, him as a businessman, like, obviously he's made money, so it's obviously gotten him to a certain point, but it kind of makes you think that all them stories that the UFC was talking about Francis being difficult is true.
Yeah, man, for sure. Let's move on up to the next one where we have Balaji Oki taking on Manelo Sosa. Zulu Warrior Balaji Oki is 10-3 overall out of his last 5 fights. 3 wins, 2 losses. Win on the Contender Series. Win against Timmy Kwamba. Lost to Chris Duncan. Win against Michael Aswell. And lost to Mason Jones. He is 30 years old, 5'10", 73-inch reach. While Manelo Sosa, Manamumito, I think that's his fight name, 13-1 overall. Lost in Bellator and then won on the Contender Series via knockout. He is 28 years old, 5'9", and 70-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't care here, if I'm going to be honest. I could see Balaji Oki winning this fight because he's got knockout power. But looking at how these two dudes fight, Manelo Sosa is better everywhere, and he should win this fight via decision. But at the same time, Balaji Oki's live to club anyone in the first round and I fucking knocked him out. But for me, it's Manelo Sosa via decision, just because Balaji Oki is tough. I could see a late finish though. Thoughts here?
Yeah, Balaji Oki is tough, but the biggest thing for me is due to just his cardio. And even in that Mason Jones fight, his last fight, he was the underdog against Mason Jones, and I picked Balaji Oki to beat Mason Jones, and I even bet on him, and I felt very good about it. And there in that first round when he was clubbing Mason Jones, he even had Mason Jones hurt at one point. I was, feeling pretty good. But by about the time, Mason Jones had survived and it got to the second round, Blachowicz had nothing, dude. And, I just think it's going to be tough for him to be able to sustain any gas over a long period of time. I think Blachowicz's best way to get it done is early. I'm with you that I think Souza is kind of a little bit cleaner version of Blachowicz everywhere, like in terms of wrestling, striking. I would say you can maybe say Blachowicz has this more just true power, but I would say Manuel Souza is a little more clean with his technique, and he's still explosive as well. So give me Manuel Souza. I think it's going to be. I'm going to go second round knockout here.
That's fair, man. I don't hate it. Moving on up, we got Chris Action Man Curtis taking on Orabai. Chris Action Man Curtis is 32-12 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has an accidental head clash against Nasruddin Imavov 2 years ago. He has a split decision win against Marc-Andre Barrio 2 years ago. A split decision loss against Brennan Allen basically 2 years ago. Roman Kapilov head kick loss a year and month ago, then moved down to welterweight and has a split decision win against Max Griffin 7 months ago. Dude, he's just getting finished in split decisions at this point, man. He's 38 years old, 5'10", 75-inch reach. I think he might be cutting a little bit too much weight down to 170, dude. Make the big moving up. He fucking moved up a few fights ago after. I think this was a catchweight fight here, and then he fucking moved up to 170. Followed these 2 fights. Jack Hermanson moved down from 185, and McDevick absolutely fucking snoozed them. So, 28 years old, 5'10", 74-inch reach. Dude, as weird as it sounds, Action Man moving down from 185, McDevick moving up. Fucking McDevick, it says is going to be the same height, dude. I bet he's bigger than Chris Curtis is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think at this point, fucking Chris Curtis, basically 40 years old at this point, doesn't do anything, stands in the middle of the octagon, gets mad at you when you don't fight him in the middle of the octagon. Plotty, can't cut the cage off. And I think at 185, he had power. Down at 170, I don't know if he's fast enough to catch these guys, dude, because a lot of these dudes are going to be too quick for him. So for me, give me McDevick to win this fight. I'm leaning between submission and decision. Just to be safe, let me go decision, though, D-Rose. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, I think this is I think it's a good test for both fighters to kind of see where both are at. I'm not saying that, Chris Curtis.
Dude, I cannot get over this Chris Curtis picture. I know it's the cage, but it looks like he has like a long rat tail dread.
Like a rat tail.
Like dread. Yeah.
I swear
like
I think about it. I swear I think that, or it's like some sort of like black belt or something hanging over his neck.
He just has one dreadlock rat tail.
Yeah, no, I do the same exact thing. I cannot help it. That's funny, but no, I think it's a good test to see where both fighters are at in this division. And I know Chris Curtis ain't fighting for a title, and I know McDevick, he's a little bit younger, so I know he's got maybe a little bit more aspirations. But Chris,
they don't have a color photo of him. How is he younger?
Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, you look at McDevick, and I mean, even just the name itself, just speaks, ancient times. But yeah, I do think where Chris Curtis is at this point in his career, still good takedown defense, and he's a good boxer, but he just hadn't really developed that game outside of the boxing, and he has a tough time cutting off the cage. He's actually pretty good about defending takedowns, and he, of course, obviously, like I said, you're in the pocket with him. He's a good boxer, but if he has some good footwork, kind of able to work around a little bit, and make Chris Curtis kind of chase you. That's where Chris Curtis can tend to struggle a little bit, similar to like a Jack Hermanson. So I think McDevick Orabai will kind of play this fight a little bit smarter here. And I think if he does, it's an easy path to victory for him, in my opinion, because I do think he's the more balanced overall striker. I would say that Chris Curtis probably has the more power and better technique in boxing. But Give me Mick to get it done here, and I think it's by decision.
That's fair, man. Anton wants to know if you think Make the Big's top 10 potential. 170's tough, man. I don't know. Maybe top 10, possibly.
I got. If he goes out here and finishes Chris Curtis, then I can maybe say so. But I need to see I kind of need to see another gear from Mick the Big up here instead of just knocking out Jack or Manson. I need to see him kind of hit that extra gear to see if he could beat any of the top tier guys.
All right. We have up next the main event for GFL 1. We have Brad Tavares taking on Eric Anders. Brad Tavares, 21-11 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, 2 wins, 3 losses. Win over Chris Weidman, lost to Gregory Rodriguez. Lost to Iron Turtle. Win over GM3 and lost to Robert Brischak 5 months ago. He is 38 years old, 6'1", 74-inch reach, while Eric Anders is 17-9 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. Win over Kyle Dawkins, aging pretty good at this point. But that was 3 years ago at this point. Lost to Marc-Andre Barrio. Win against Jamie Pickett. He got dropped in that fight. Win against Chris Weidman. Lost to Christian Leroy Duncan 6 months ago. He is 38 years old, 6'1", 75-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm not spending any time on this. Give me Brad Tavares to win via decision. He's more cleaner, got good leg kicks, good takedown defense. If Eric Anders wins this fight, it's because he pushed Brad Tavares up against the cage for longer than Brad Tavares had at striking distance.
Sadly enough, that's why I'm picking Eric Anders here, because I think
God damn it.
I think Brad Tavares, and plus I think Brad Tavares just has not worn damage well in his last few fights, and not to say that Eric Anders is bringing the most danger, but Brad Tavares is there to be hit. So I think Brad Tavares, good fighter, but I think he could potentially get clipped from time to time. And Eric Anders, I think, will be the stronger dude of the two. Give me Eric Anders. Give me by decision.
All right. I am on Brad Tavares. D Rose is on your boy, Eric Anders. Moving on. Next fight, we got Bruno Bulldog taking on Charles Energy Johnson. Man, I met Charles Johnson at UFC Houston. I don't have the picture pulled up here. Maybe I can get. Maybe I got it uploaded though. Do I got it uploaded?
Let's see.
Download. I thought I did, dog, but it's been a couple weeks now, yeah. Oh, there it is. Boom. Charles Energy Johnson. Met him there. Look at that sick haircut. Almost looks like fucking D-Rose just changed his wig, huh? He was wearing a leather vest, D-Rose. Do you own any leather vests?
I don't know if I own any leather.
You don't know. Black leather vest and a brown leather purse.
He wants hair like mine. That's the problem.
Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem. But yeah, man. So let me remove this. Add this back to the stage. Bruno Bulldog, out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. Win over Tyson Nam, lost to Cody Durden. Win over Manel Kopp. Lost to Manel Kopp. Lost to Josh Van. Win over Peace of Mind Park. That was 4 months ago. He is 35 years old, 5'4", 86-inch reach. Charles Energy Johnson, out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. Win over Josh Van. Win over Sumandarji. Lost to Ramzan Tamirov. Win over Leonard Kavanaugh, and lost to Alex Perez literally a month ago. 35 years old, 5'9", 70-inch reach. D-Rose, basically, I can't get a Charles Johnson fight right to save my life. So no matter what I pick, you should just pick the opposite, and then you'll probably win it. My thought process here is there hasn't been enough time for Charles Johnson to recover. And for basically the exact same fighter, maybe even a little bit quicker with the hands, maybe like fucking quicker in and out. Bruno Bulldog has power as well, dude. And Charles Johnson takes a little bit to get started, dude. And Bruno Bulldog comes out like a bat out of hell in round one, dude. Has power, dude. Sad as it is, man. I'm an Energy fan. I'm a CJ fan. I'm part of the Skullet gang, but I think the same thing happens here that happened a fucking month ago, man. Give me Bruno Bulldog to knock out Charles Johnson in round number one, man. And if you're smart, you'll go Charles Johnson to win this fight because I can't get a Charles Johnson right to save my life. It's Charles Johnson fight right to save my life. So, which way are you going, D-Rose?
Well, you absolutely nailed it because I am going Charles Johnson because I think Bruno Silva does have power and he's a pretty good striker, but round one's his best chance, man, because he gasses. And I think, Manel Kopp showed in his fight, and I think Josh Van showed in their fight that, Bruno Silva can gas there at the end of the fight, and you can get him as the fight goes on if, kind of wear on the body a little bit as it goes and, able to avoid those big shots early. Energy, he's one dude, kind of like Neil Magny, kind of like those types of guys where, dude, you could fight like 3 or 4 months after you just lost, and I'm not going to be too worried about you because I know, I respect the fact that like Charles Johnson's out there and he's not BSing, man. Like, there are some guys who are out there just looking for a paycheck. Like Charles Johnson really about this life, man. yeah, exactly. Cody Brundage is out there just to get a check, dude. Like, and I'm not scared to say that. Now, I think at this point, Energy has still got a lot left in the tank. Give me a Charles Johnson. I'm going by third round knockout for Charles Johnson. I think he actually puts it on Bruno Silva from the second round on until the fight gets stopped.
That's fair, man. Moving on to the next one, we have a fun one. Vitor Petrino taking on Concrete Steven Asplin. More like melted concrete Steven Asplin. Anyway, Vitor Petrino, 13-2 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. Win over Tyson Pedro down at light heavyweight. Win over Anthony Smith down at light heavy. Lost to Anthony Smith down at light heavyweight. Lost to Dustin Jacoby down at light heavyweight. Moved up, beat Austin Lane via rear naked choke, and knocked out Thomas Peterson 4 months ago. He is 28 years old, 6'2", 77.5-inch reach, while unsettled concrete, Steven Asplin, 7-1 overall. His loss, D-Rose, is to none other than Denzel Freeman via rear naked choke. The guy that got knocked out via middle finger versus Josh Hokett. He has a win on LFA, win on the Contender Series, and knocked out Sean Sheriff 2 months ago. 27 years old, 6'5", and a 78-inch reach. D-Rose, this is tough for me because I can't stand Vitor Petrino. And if this was going to be a striking fight on the feet the whole time, I'd pick Steven Asplin, like 100%. But I don't know what he looks like on the ground, and just the thought of Denzel Freeman beating anyone is not a good look. And if I have to give Vitor Petrino his props, man, I do think he belongs at heavyweight. And the only reason why, dude, because he fucking weighed in lastly, at 250 with a fucking solid 6-pack still, dude. It's like, holy shit. Like this dude, it's almost like you just fucking put a fucking needle in him and just pumped him up with air, and all of his muscles just got fucking bigger, dude. So I do believe he belongs at heavyweight. I am going to go Vitor Petrino to win this fight via round 1 submission. However, if this fight goes into round 2, I'm going to be live betting wet concrete Steven Asplin to win this fight because Vitor Petrino gasses, man, and he seems to gas extra at heavyweight. Steven Asplin's game plan is, volume, pressure, cardio over time. I just don't know if it gets there, man. So For me, Vitor Petrino, round 1 sub is my official pick, but I'll probably throw a few dollars alive if it gets past round 1 on Steven Asplin. Which way are you going here, man?
Honestly, I feel a lot about this fight the way that you do, just in terms of I think Vitor Petrino, I think, is the better overall fighter. Clearly, has more experience in the UFC, and obviously, good with jiu-jitsu, has good wrestling. I think Asplin is probably the better boxer overall, and he does use kind of his cardio and his pace. And you go back to Asplin's last fight, and didn't they set the record for like him and Sean Sheriff? They set the record for like most significant strikes within like a short amount of time at heavyweight, or whatever the case may be. It was like within the time they fought, it was the most significant strikes in a UFC fight, in a UFC heavyweight fight. So he's obviously got some skill, but I do think there's a little bit of a skill gap in that wrestling, and losing to Denzel Freeman that way, and Vitor Petrino, Austin Lane is a big dude, and he looked big against Vitor Petrino. Vitor Petrino controlled him with ease on the ground. Like, the way that he just literally went there, just kind of tackled the former football player Austin Lane and kind of controlled him on the ground. I think there's a path to victory here. The same for Petrino. I think Asplin's tough, so I do think he's probably going to end up defending all the submissions, probably taking some pretty good ground and pound, but ultimately, kind of moving and surviving. But I think Petrino gets it done. I think 30-27 decision here.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, dude. You're not worried that when fucking round 3 starts, like fucking Vitor Petrino is going to be like, oh, fuck, this is fucking starting on the feet. Here we fucking go.
I mean, that is the case. But again, I want to see, I want to see Asplin be able to try to defend these takedowns. And do we know if he can or not?
That's fair, man. Moving on to D-Rose's favorite fighter on the card, Harry Hardwick, taking on Freaky Marwan Rahiki. Freaky Marwan Rahiki is 7-0. Look at this. KO, knees and elbows, ground and pound, KO, guillotine, KO punches, KO. He is 23 years old, 5'8", 72-inch reach, while Harry Hardwick is 13-4 overall. How is he the number 85 lightweight in the world, dude? I feel like I could beat up Harry Hardwick. He is 31 years old, 5'8", and a 71-inch reach. Dude, I will never... Dude, it took Kyle Fernandez 10 calf kicks to finish this fight. 10 strikes was all it took to have Harry Hardwick rolling all over the ground like someone just fucking chopped his legs off, dude. Yeah, give me a Marwan Rahiki round 1 knockout. Wouldn't surprise me if it was TKO via leg kicks as well, because he's got some solid leg kicks. Thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, I'm not gonna have too much on this fight. Harry Hardwick, he is known as stop, get dropped, and roll, because he is the guy who will just stop what he's doing, just get dropped, and then just roll on the ground. He will do that in his fights. He did it in the Fernandez fight.
He got wheelchaired out of the octagon from leg kicks.
Like, dude. It's not funny.
They put the camera on him, and he was like, like the crowd was cheering for him, like he did something. Like, dude, you are so bad.
Dude, I just have the image of him rolling around on the ground right now, and it's just and then like him rolling around in the middle of the octagon while Kyle Fernandez is just styling on him, and then him get wheelchaired out of the octagon, which is so crazy, dude. But yeah, give me Marwan Rahiki. I think give me knockout here. I'm gonna go round 2 KO.
All right, let's see what y'all are saying real quick. D-Rose fixing the sweep back. Don't you dare say that, Dave. Don't you dare say that.
Let's go, Dave. You know what it is.
Man, needs to change his fight name to Jello. You got to respect that. When he lost 300 pounds. I understand it's hard to do, but having the fight named Concrete is not what you should have.
Yeah, the furthest thing from.
D-Rose looks like a Rocket Power character. Oh my goodness. Next one, dude. We got Andre Touchy-Feely taking on Jose Delgado. Andre Touchy-Feely alternating wins and losses, so you know what's coming up here next. We got a win over Lucas Almeida, lost to Dan Ige, win over Cub Swanson, lost to Melky Costa, win over C-Rod 6 months ago. He is 35 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach, while Jose Delgado is 10-2 overall. This LFA Contender Series knocked out Connor Matthews, knocked out Hyder Emil, which is not surprising to me because fucking both dudes went in there swinging their dicks. And then lost to Nathaniel Wood. I don't remember what I thought about that fight, but I remember it being a fairly close fight 4 months ago, dude. He's 27 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach. D-Rose, I think Andre Feely just gets clipped. I just think it gets clipped. He gets clipped early, and he tries to act like it doesn't hurt him, but he tries to do that to Jose Delgado. I think 1, 2, maybe even 3 more punches are following up to hit the toothless Andre Feely right in the face, dude. Because you know how he'll like fucking get hit and be like, nah, that didn't hurt me. I think if he gets hit once, he's like, he might get hit 4 more times and then just knocked out cold. So for me, give me Jose Delgado to win this fight via first round knockout. Early knockout for Jose Delgado, in my opinion, because he comes out shot out of a cannon. Thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, for me, I think, Andre Feely, experience level, we were just talking about the experience level thing. Experience versus the young youthfulness of a fighter like Jose Delgado. But for me, I think Jose Delgado is gonna have the power, the explosiveness, and that Nathaniel Wood fight was close. And I even said going into that fight, like, hey, he young prospect coming into the UFC. I think this is the guy that you can build with. I don't think you need to give him favorable matchups, but I thought a guy like Nathaniel Wood for Jose Delgado's second fight in the UFC was kind of crazy, but I think that's good experience for him to kind of keep him moving. And I thought he lost that. I thought he lost the fight pretty cleanly. I thought he won the first round and lost rounds 2 and 3. But I think Andre Feely is a guy who, as we can see, clearly alternates wins and losses, and he's on his win-loss tour, and he's just coming off a win. So a loss is due for him. Jose Delgado is the guy to bring it to him. Give me a Jose Delgado. I think this ends up being a fun fight, but I think Jose Delgado is a little more reserved. I think it's a decision here.
Fair enough, man. Moving on up, we got Umar C taking on Iwan, the Hulk Kutalaba. Umar C, 12-1 overall out of his last 5 fights, 4 wins, 1 loss. His loss was to Alonzo Minifield. He is 30 years old, 6'4", 83-inch reach. He's taking on Iwan Hulk Kutalaba. Out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. Win over Tanner Bozer, lost to Felipe Lins, win over Ivan Arslan, win over Ibo Aslan, and lost to Modestas Bukauskas via split decision 9 months ago. He is 32 years old, 6'1", 75-inch reach. D-Rose, I don't know if I've said this before. I don't like Umar C, man. His fight style sucks. It's just like you're that big, you're all athletic, and you just go out here and just try to take people down, and you don't even try for submissions, dude. You just you fight like Raul Rosas Jr. being a big-ass middleweight, dude. It's just like, damn, this shit sucks, dog. And this might be just because of my hate for Umar C at this point. I'm going to go Iwan Hulk Kutalaba to win this fight via decision, dude. I think if Umar C goes out here just trying to fucking wrestle, man, I think Hulk can fucking stuff takedowns and fucking box up Umar C. And we know Umar C don't look good on the feet, man. Like he ain't even Kennedy and Zechku on the feet, dude. And that's not saying a lot, man. So yeah, give me Iwan Hulk Kutalaba to win this fight via decision. I might lose pick champ because of this, but I'm willing to risk it. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, well, and to be completely honest, it's 100% worth the gamble because Umar C is a guy who, if you remember,
and out of his dude, I remember him being like minus 800, minus 600. He's what, minus 180?
Alonzo Minifield.
Yeah, and he's like minus 180 against E1 Hulk here. So it's like people see something. People see something for sure. Like, oh no.
Yeah, no, he was every bit of minus 800 because it was Julius Walker and Umar C both in a row who were like huge favorites against Alonzo Menifield, and I was like, neither guy is proven. Why are they such big favorites against a guy who's pretty proven in the UFC? And both guys have went on the to lose to Alonzo Menifield, but I think for Umar C, he's clearly got ability. It's just trying to get him to hit that extra gear. And it's something about the French fighters, dude, who just like to keep it clean. It's almost like they don't want to hurt their opponent too much. William Gomi has some of it to a certain extent. I mean, Cyril Gane has unlocked. Yeah, he's unlocked some of that in his game to a certain extent. Tato Ivasa and Derek Lewis, but outside of that, yeah, it's just something about the French fighters not having a killer instinct. But I do think he's the better athlete.
Except for BSD. He is like the only fucking French fighter that's got a killer instinct.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I mean, they one of his old nicknames is Seek and Destroy, so it's perfectly fitting for BSD. But I'm gonna go Umar C. Not super confident though, I'm not gonna lie, but I think Umar C just because dude, Kutalov is such a dork. I just cannot in my right conscious pick Kutalov to win a fight. So give me Umar C here by decision.
All right, that's our third different pick on the card, D-Rose. So clean sweep is live, as says Dave. The sweep is live. Do you think they ever cut Life Fight veterans, Andre, who have been here a long time, struggling a little bit now? I could see them letting Andre Fili go if like he loses maybe like 3 in a row. I could see them cutting him. Moving on, co-main event of the evening, D-Rose, is Julian Robertson taking on Amanda Lemos. A tough fight for me to call, if I'm going to be honest. I believe this fight was matched up, right? And then I believe me and you were split on it, and the fight got called off, yeah?
I believe that was the case.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I believe you picked Lemos and I picked Robertson.
I don't fucking remember, dude. This is such a tough fight for me to call. Lemos, 15-5-1 overall out of her last 5 fights. 3 losses, 2 wins. Lost to Zhang, win against Mackenzie Dern, lost to Verna, win against Yasmin Lucindo, and lost to Tatiana Suarez. She is 38 years old, 5'4", 65-inch reach, while the Savage, Julian Robertson, 16-8 overall out of her last 5 fights. Lost against Tabitha Ricci, win against Poliana Viana, win against Michelle Watterson, win against Luana Pinheiro, win against Marina Rodriguez. She's 30 years old, 5'5", and a 63-inch reach. D-Rose, I'm going to let you break it down. Who are you going for here, man?
Yeah, I think this one, it's a, kind of a styles type fight here. Amanda Lemos is the more powerful striker, more explosive athlete between the two, even with her being, probably a significantly older fighter. She's 38 compared to 30. So I don't want to say significantly, but Juliana Robertson, for her to still be only 30, and I always crack on her about being younger than what I think she really is, but it just goes to show she's got some good experience against some top fighters. Amanda Lemos, this style matchup is kind of what Amanda Lemos does not like. The only thing is that Jillian Robertson in her last loss against Tabitha Ricci, like Tabitha Ricci basically just made it hard or damn near impossible, really, for Jillian Robertson to kind of, track her down. And Jillian Robertson wasn't good at cutting off the cage. If Amanda Lemos uses her footwork, she can make it difficult for Jillian Robertson in terms of just being able to track her down. But if she's kind of just, backing up to the fence or, kind of staying planted and wanting to try to land the kill shot and giving Jillian Robertson enough time to get in on the legs and get in on the hips, I think it's going to be a tough night for Lemos. And Lemos does get backed up to the fence when she's looking to defend takedowns too. And I think that's how Robertson gets it done. I think Jillian Robertson, give me some. I didn't want to say submission, but I think she's going to get. Let's go rear naked choke here, and I'm going to go round 2 submission for Jillian Robertson.
All right, man, that's fair. Me, I'm the opposite, man. I guess nothing really changed from the last time we broke this fight down a few months ago, a year ago. Who the fuck knows how long it's been? my thing is I don't think Julian Robertson's takedowns are good enough to get Amanda Lemos down. I think Amanda Lemos got too good takedown defense. I don't think Robertson is physical enough. Like, she ain't like fucking going in there and blast doubling anyone, fucking getting them down. And I think that's what you have to get Amanda Lemos down. So I think Amanda Lemos comes in here, stuff the takedowns, just boxes up Julian Robertson. We see Amanda Lemos win this fight via decision. It's gonna be should have been stopped, but Amanda Lemos via decision is where I'm going. So that's our fourth different pick, D-Rose. So you have some options to pick.
We'll have 3 in a backup.
Yeah, maybe even 4. Dun dun dun. Main event time. Let's go to Josh Emmett taking on Kevin Vallejos. Josh Emmett, 19-6 overall out of his last 5 fights. His win is against Bryce Mitchell. Everything else, lost to Yusuf Zalal, lost to Lerone Murphy, lost to Ilya, lost to Yair Rodriguez. He's 41 years old, 5'6", 70-inch reach, while Kevin El Chino Vallejos is 17-1 overall. His only loss is to John Silva on the Contender Series, 24 years old, 5'7", 68-inch reach. Yeah, man, I just think Kevin Vallejos is younger version of Josh Emmett. He's quicker, got the same power, maybe even more at this point. I just think this is probably going to look something like Ilia Topuria versus Josh Emmett. Give me Kevin Vallejos to win this fight via decision. Not spending too much time on the main event. I really don't understand why this is the main event, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like they could have done something a little bit better, but, I mean, it's Apex card. It is what it is. What is your thoughts on the main event this weekend, D-Rose, as I save my picks?
Yeah, Apex card, and I think they're trying to give a guy who they think has some potential to a spotlight opportunity against a veteran and Josh Emmett, who a lot of people know, I think, at this point. And, for me, Josh Emmett, I love me some Josh Emmett, but, at this point, the style's just been caught up with at this point. He's a brawler type. He's going to look to try to close the distance and land the big hooks. Not even necessarily box and not even looking to wrestle. Just looking in there and trying to club your head off, man. And I think it's going to be tough for him to try to get it done over Vallejos that way, who's a clean boxer himself. I think Josh Emmett makes the fight fun. I think there could even be a point where he lands a couple of big shots against Vallejos, but I think Vallejos, his chin holds up. And I think he gets it done over a 5-round decision. Give me Vallejos here to get it done.
All right, Kevin Vallejos via decision is the Rose, and me and you agree on the main event this weekend. Yeah, dog. Which only leaves us, or let's see what the chat's saying. Antoine saying he's got Jillian, so you and Antoine agreeing. Oh man. There it is. We got Saint R. Hello. Where are the locks at? See if we can cook up a lock here before we get out of the show here in a second. Emmett said he still wants to be champion. Yeah. Okay. Well, very hard to pick this card. Yeah. Do we lose Josh Emmett Saturday night? I don't think so. Emmett with the TKO round. Good luck, man. Good luck. All right, D-Rose. We got a pick champ, and we'll see if we can agree on a lock for this weekend, even though I don't know if that even exists. Pick champ for this week. So that's why D-Rose currently wearing that beautiful hair that he has. As I won the pick champ this past weekend right here. Pick champ. Clean sweep, by the way. That's why D-Rose is wearing that wig. So D-Rose will have a chance to clean sweep me back this week with our different picks of Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders, Bruno Bulldog Silva taking on Charles Energy Johnson, Iwan Kutalaba versus Umar C, and Amanda Lemos versus Julian Robertson, D-Rose. So 3 out of the 4 will be entered. The 4th will be the backup. I guess I'll pass it over to you, man. What would you like the fights to be for the pick champ this week, my guy?
The backup fight for this week would be Brad Tavares versus Eric Anders. The picks that will be included in the pick champ will be Amanda Lemos versus Julian Robertson. It would be Bruno Silva versus Charles Johnson, and then it'll be Umar C versus E1 Kutalaba.
That's fair, man. Took away the one I was most confident in. Huh?
Yep, just like how you did me last week with Hobo Cop.
With Hobo Cop?
and
How are you
Bruno
confident in
Ferreira.
that? How are you confident in that?
Because, man, Hobo Cop, he shouldn't have got caught in the first fight.
All right, so that's the pick champ. So for me or D Rose next week, we'll be eating beans or sours, and hopefully no one's got to wear a wig, right? Hopefully no one. You know what? Hopefully D Rose got to wear a different wig, because if I clean sweep D Rose, he's getting a different one, a whole different one.
Nah, I'm definitely
Marge
going to be
Simpson.
sending you a different one once we get the clean sweep this week. I brought a new broom earlier too. I'm gonna have to bring it down when we get the next sweep going next week.
I guess we got Arnold Allen versus Melky Costa seems to be announced. That'll be a good fight. We'll have to talk about that next week. Yeah. All right, D Rose. With that being said, lock. Do we have a lock on this card? Who has no chance of losing on this card? Let's see here.
Don't ask me.
Lock of the card.
I've been
well, it ain't.
I say Charles Johnson, but
well, it ain't. It ain't Sam Hughes versus Pierre Rodriguez. Right now, I'm leaning Elijah Smith. Because like if I can beat him, Skeeta's too big of a favorite. Maybe Hetcher Souza, dude. For those two. How about you, man? Maybe Mictabik. Maybe 3-leg parlay. Elijah Smith, Mictabik, Jose Delgado. Lock it. What's up, D-Rose?
I see. I'm not super confident in Delgado, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna take the over in that fight.
Which one?
But
which one is it? If I can make the big or Elijah Smith then for your most confident?
Probably Elijah Smith.
Yeah, same for me. Yeah. So Elijah Smith, most confident pick on the card, but it's just because I don't think jiu-jitsu is that good. Let's see. Do you bet on? Yes, Antoine, I do. Thankfully, they usually win, so I usually win. And have you ever bet against? Never, Antoine. Hard to get a lock, man. I think Rodriguez might take it. Pierre Rodriguez. Good luck, man. I would not have that as my lock, though. If you need a lock, go Elijah Smith. I think he gets it done. All right. Well, D Rose, anything before we get out of here, man?
No, man. We are. I've worn this wig for 2 hours now. So
2 hours and 7 minutes. All right, dog. Well, with that being said, we appreciate y'all stopping by here, hanging out with us tonight. If y'all haven't already, hit that thumbs up button on y'all's way out. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share this with everyone that needs some picks for the fights this upcoming weekend. But with that being said, my name is Matt. Carrot Top is on that side of your screen. And with that being said, we'll catch you guys next week. Peace. Y'all stay safe.